In our automotive industry, the flagship vehicles features are trickled down to the lower models, and we've seen that in the past with the Audi Q7 features and design being carried forward to the Audi Q5. Well, I've got a little surprise for you. When I say little, it is little in dimensions, but it's big on heart, big on features. This is the all-new Audi Q3, which is the baby SUV or the baby Q by Audi India. And this is a car which really resembles the Audi Q5 and the Q7, whether it's on the outside or on the inside. And that's a very good thing because, of course, who doesn't want to emulate a flagship car, flagship like the Audi Q7. So let's get started with the design and talk about how and what is new in the Audi Q3. So like the Q5 and the Q7, this has gone really sharper, bolder, and looks really sporty. See these boulders on the bonnet, these lines that add to the dimension, that muscular feel, these angular lights, the sharp lights, the matrix LED lights, really nice to look at, really sharp and distinctive arrow Audi lights that you get in this, the arrow LED lights, very distinctive Audi. Secondly, the most important thing on the front is, after the Audi badge, is the Quattro badge. This defines the vehicle. This is a Quattro vehicle, which means you can take it on any terrain without worrying about anything. This is the power of Quattro. Also, you'll notice the grille for the Audi has changed in the Q3. Now it is more rectangular than it was in the past. Now these lines are running straight, and also these huge vent openings for your air inflow. You'll see the camera is missing because in India the Audi Q3 only gets a reverse camera package. You don't have a camera in the front, you don't have the sensors here for autonomous driving. You also see this is a lot of cladding here, which is silver cladding, which really looks nice, and it's not like in your eyes silver, it's not chromish, it's very distinct silver. What I would have liked is maybe a blacked out grille that I've seen in the variants outside, where we can see the whole chrome grille is blacked out, the logo is blacked out, looks really nice. And I was also expecting that Audi might come out with the Audi's new logo in this one, because they changed this to a white and black logo, which we will see in the future Audi cars. While the front camera is missing, you do get the sensors on the front and the back with the camera, so that is sorted when you have to park close and you need that attention. Let's move on to the side and talk about the side design of the Audi Q3. So talking about the side design of the Audi Q3, you look how closely it resembles the arches of the Q5 and the Q7. Even the color is the same what you get on all those cars, but I would have loved to see the exclusive bright orange color that Audi has launched for the Q3 in India. I would have loved to drive that, but anyways, let's go with the blue and blade blue. Talking about the side, you can see you get the Michelin 235/55R 18 tires. So 18 inches tires on this one. Very standard Audi alloy designs. You let me know in the comments if you like this alloy design or you wanted something like a blacked out design. Let us know in the comment section below. Also, you see this, these arcs are very huge and gives you a lot of gap because these are 18 inches tires, not 19 or 20 that you get abroad. Also, if you notice, there's good use of chrome on these window panes and on the roof rails. So good amount of chrome usage, and again keeping it very subtle, very nice. I would have loved, if these chrome elements would have been extended to the side view mirrors or the door handles, but that is missing. But you get really nice angular side view mirrors. And if you move on to the rear quarter of the car, it's quite big. Now you can notice that it doesn't look like the Q3 anymore, but the glass on the rear quarter panel is still a little smaller than you would have liked. In fact, if you talk about the dimension, it has gone longer, wider, even the wheelbase has gone up, and even the height is up. So you'll see the difference when we sit inside, how it has changed the dimensions and how the wheelbase, the bigger wheelbase, gives you better boot space and better sitting area on the second row. So now let's move on to the rear of the car and talk about the rear design changes of the Audi Q3. So on the rear also you can see the lights have changed, how the dimensions have changed, and these are really sharp. Again, that Y element of the Audi, the signature Audi, and these also comes with dynamic indicators that Audi is all famous for, and in a way given it to the industry how dynamic indicators have really ventured into every automobile manufacturer. You also see shark fin antenna, the spoiler with integrated lights, and also side spoiler, kind of a side spoiler on both sides. You also see the Q3 badging. So this is the 40 TFSI Quattro. Again, this is only coming in petrol, of course, because Audi only manufactures petrol and electric cars now. So this is also the same petrol engine that you get in the Audi A4, you get it in the Q3 also now. Again, on the rear you can see there is a camera on the rear and these camera sensors, these are reflector lights, and again that's simple chrome elements on the rear bumper also. To add to the sportiness, they've also given these fake exhaust tips kind of a thing, but underneath there's only one exhaust over here. Otherwise it's very similar to what we've seen in the Q5 and the Q7. Again, the similarities will go deeper when we move on to the inside. So what we're waiting for, let's get inside and talk about the new interior of the Audi Q3. So this is the interior of the Q3 and you can see how different it is. That big screen that was here has gone. It's all integrated in the dashboard. I'll just click on the start engine button. And one thing that I have to always say about Audi is that the kind of cabin silence it has. You know, the car is started, you don't even feel a thing. This is something that Audi does it the best, you know, the cabin silence, the way it is just like calm composure of an Audi car. It's just lovely out here. So if you talk about the differences, this is now the integrated screen where you get all the Audi, you know, live maps and radio and all your things, your settings and all. It's all touchscreen, but thankfully not everything is a touchscreen here. The AC panel is manual here. You can play around with these dials. All these are buttons, and you have a small display which shows the temperatures and everything else. You also have the volume controls, which are physical buttons, and the start stop engine button, and drive select another buttons that you see on an Audi car. But what you usually see in a Q5 or a Q7 is two screens, one top of each other, and the other one is the AC, another is the MMI screen. But over here it's just one screen, which is great. You also have the wireless charging, two Type-C ports in the car. The gear lever is something that has completely changed in this Audi. What we usually see is big, chunky, squarish gear lever that you hold and you put gears. This is very round, very different, and very different from what we've seen in Audi. There's no Audi branding or logo over here, but nevertheless it's great to put gears into, and also if you want to drive manually. So when you put in manual gear, you can easily shift it from here, which feels like easier to shift down and up, which is great. Again, if you talk about the cup holders are here, your basic things like a key holder, which is usually missing in other cars. This Audi always makes sure there is a key holder in the car. You also get your panoramic sunroof, which is great. All the controls are here. You get your own set of mirrors for both visors with lights, and you get a very chunky, very nice, sporty steering. It doesn't have a flat bottom, but still feels really nice, and it's really slim controls over here, which controls the virtual cockpit. So you can control the virtual cockpit from here, and you can get your full screen maps the way you like it. Again, so many features that have been carried out from Q5 and Q7, which is great. Again, that's what I'm saying. It's really good to have, you know, feature sets from a flagship car, and Audi has done that. What I really like on the dashboard is this, you know, this metal finish with the Quattro badging, and this Quattro badge has ambient lighting in it. So I'll show you the shots where it is like you can change different colors on it, and the ambient lighting looks really good on this car. Some things that I really wanted to point out is the door handles, which are very different from what we see in any other car. So instead of going like this to open the door, you can simply do this, which is easier. Again, all your usual controls like power windows and all are here. The seats for both driver and co-passenger are electrically controllable. The steering is manually controllable, so you can, it is a telescopic steering, so you can move it up and down and forward and backward. So that is there. Also, if you have a lot of cabin space, we talk about the cabin nibbies, there's a lot of cabin space in here. This cup holder, there's also space here, and you can also move around this for a better comfort, which is, again, if you talk about seating comfort, I think it's very well suited. And for a person of my height, I think even if I'm like around 5'10", it doesn't touch my head. There's still ample amount of room. Again, the benefits of increasing the whole dimension of the car are very evident in this one. Now, since it's a family car, let's sit at the rear seats and see how comfortable are the rear seats. So I'm very comfortably seated. I have good amount of thigh support. I have good amount of headroom. I have good amount of knee room. I can still adjust the seats to go further up if I want more boot space, and I can obviously go as much as back I have to. Again, you can also recline these seats a bit by pulling this string here, and I get a good recline angle. But as I mentioned from the outside, I would have loved a better or a bigger rear quarter panel glass, and if that is missing, that's okay. Now I'll talk about the good things here. First is this space right here. It's amazing. I mean, very well thought of, and this space is usually wasted in cars. Audi has given a lot of space here. You can keep your stuff, you can keep a lot of things. You also have good amount of space for keeping a 1 liter of bottle in the door bins. You also have, you know, magazine holders and all. You have rear AC vents with an option to switch them on and off. But I miss the USB Type-C ports. There is no USB Type-C port at the rear, which is really shocking. A rear passenger cannot charge the phone while sitting inside the car. You also get, you know, the armrest and with 2 cup holders. But if you want the third passenger to sit in the car, you can move up the armrest and sit in the middle. Now, because the central tunnel is too high, you can obviously not sit in a squatting position. So you will be sitting most of the times like this, unless and until you're a child. So if you're sitting like this seat is still a little stiff and upright. So for shorter durations, yeah, you can shorter trips around the city, but for longer duration, it might get a bit uncomfortable sitting so upright and this hard base of the center armrest. But again, in the center seat also, you get a good amount of space in terms of your headroom, your leg room. The thigh support is obviously missing because this seat has been cut down from the middle. But again, very well comfortable, really nice seats for the rear passengers also in the Audi Q3, which makes it a complete family car. And again, because of the Quattro, it can go anywhere, take you to distances, take you to mountains, take you to any place. So a complete family car for sure. Now, to make it a complete family car, we also have to check one more thing, the boot space. Let's go ahead and do that. So let's check the boot space of the Audi Q3. Well, as you can see, before we check the boot space, you also got to know another feature, that this is a smart boot. You can open it with your legs, just need the smart key in your pocket and just go near the car, wipe it once and it does that. Again, if you see, boot space has also gone really massive now. In fact, 70 plus liters have been added to this boot space, which is again a massive boot by all standards for this baby Q. And not just that, you also get a parcel tray where you can keep a lot of stuff. You can also remove it, and underneath you get a spare tire and also your toolkit, very nicely placed. You also have space on both the sides to keep stuff like the first aid kit, and also have a 12-volt charger if you want to put your, you know, cooler or anything on this vehicle. You also have this metal protection to, you know, help you unladen the stuff in the car so it doesn't scratch the surface of the car, which is good. And also the loading and unloading height is very comfortable. You can just put it easily, and it can easily accommodate at least 3 to 4 big suitcases. One additional suitcase because of that increased boot space. So the Audi Q3 comes in 2-liter TFSI Quattro engine with 190 horsepower and 320 Newton meters of torque. The top speed is limited to 222 kilometers per hour, and it does a 0 to 100 in 7.3 seconds. So now that we've seen the exterior, interior and the design and features of the Audi Q3, it's time for us to take it for a quick spin. This is, remember, the first drive of the Audi Q3. The full review will follow, but let's head for a quick drive. So let's buckle up and start the Audi Q3 drive. Let's put it in drive and let's select the drive select. We'll go with auto, or I'll go with comfort instead. Let's go with comfort, as most of the time you'll be driving in comfort with this car. You can obviously play around with the dials and whatever you like it, like if you like it like this, bigger numbers, bigger digits, you can do that. You can obviously go with full screen map also, but I like it like this, where I have the numbers, the RPM meter and everything. Driving around in Audi is like pristine silence, you know, you feel that different level of silence in the car, and this feels really nice. Even on this very silent road where there are no vehicular movement, you can hardly hear the engine sound, which is great. And in terms of, you know, ride quality and comfort, I think it's on the softer side, and you'll feel that as soon as you start driving, you feel that the steering is really light. You start feeling that, you know, the suspension is rather bouncy. You would have noticed that in the shot. It's softer and bouncy. So if you put in sports, you instantly notice that the revs go higher and the gear shifts down. So if I was on D5 it goes to S3, and you notice that rush of power as soon as you get into sports. Great thing is, because the gear lever is like a regular manual lever, you can immediately put it in manual and keep your hand on it and keep shifting gears up and down very easily. So just 2, 3, 4, it's very easy. And the car also tells you like you should upshift now, or if you should downshift now, the arrow is there. Again, because the view is so nice while you're driving the Q3, it feels really nice and high up there, even though it doesn't feel like a Q3. Honestly, when you're sitting here and looking at the ground, it feels too good, too high. And very airy car, you know, panoramic sunroof, big window pane, very airy car, very beautiful. Even the dashboard feels much larger, much angular because of these design elements on this one. So really nice, pleasurable to drive around. So that's our first drive of the Audi Q3. For more such videos, do not forget to follow and subscribe the Unbiased blog on social media networks and YouTube channel. And if you like this video, please hit the like button, share with your friends and family, and do not forget to comment.